What's up, guys? Welcome back to Michigan Muckraker. My name is Michelle, and in today's video I wanted to share with you some of my thoughts on last night's Big Rapids Township meeting, as well as this article out of the Pioneer that states Gotion VP answers questions and concerns, allegedly. So to start the meeting, I want to say thank you very much to everybody that I met at the meeting last night. A lot of you have been using your voice since the beginning, and I appreciate you very much. I'm glad I got to meet the board and get a feel for what's really going on. I have to say that the board, all save one, definitely seem to be working for the people and care about the people in the region, because they're touting this as an opportunity for regional change, and yet they don't want the region to put their input in. They just want to hurry up and get these two townships to agree to something that they don't even know what it is yet. So again, thank you. I met a lot of great people, and I'm happy to be joining my voice with theirs. And I also wanted to say I called out Everett for being on the board of the MCDC, and he explained to me what I should have known, I guess, is that the MCDC controls the area pretty much. And so in order to get ideas through, like his broadband idea, he had to join the MCDC. So I understand that there's a lot of control with that board, and that is unfortunate and startling. It should be startling if anybody's paying attention, because these people in the MCDC, not Everett himself, but the people that are in the MCDC, you know, like the treasurer, they have private meetings about things that concern the public, and I don't think that's right. I don't think that's, I think that's sus, just to say the least. So Everett, I thank you for working for the people of the area, and I understand that you wanted to get your idea through, so you joined the MCDC. But I called it out because I know what these development corporations are really doing, and we need to be very wary of them. So on that note, there's only one person that didn't seem to like me so much, but you know, you have to be working for the people of the area. That is what you were voted in to do, not to work for big business and big government. So you know who you are, and it's unfortunate, but in the next video I wanted to go over the supervisor notes. So check out that video after this one if you're interested on what the supervisors have been doing all the way back. I go back to 2021, the beginning of 2021. So it's really interesting, at least I think so. If you think so, check out the next video. But we're going to get into this article here from the Pioneer. Gotta switch over. And there we go. So, Gotion VP answers questions and concerns. For residents of Big Rapids and Green Charter Township and the surrounding communities, apprehension remains regarding Project Elephant, the potential plan to bring an electric vehicle battery component manufacturing facility to the area. Gotion Global Vice President Chuck Thelen, who is a resident of the area, initiated the idea of establishing a Gotion facility in the area after noticing the property for sale in the Big Rapids Airport Industrial Park while researching possible sites. Real quick, why wasn't Chuck Thelen at the Big Rapids Township meeting? That's something I wanted to throw out there. Why is he talking to the Pioneer and not the board? Because he's not talking to the board, except for Bill Stanek, the supervisor. He's the one that Chuck told Bill that Big Rapids Township was out, but now Big Rapids Township's back in, and the question was asked, what if they don't even want to be back in? So the communication is one of the main problems, but it's not surprising. Again, we're dealing with big business and big government working together. This should be alarming to people. So Thelen thought it was a good piece of flat land that could be developed and noted that close by Muskegon is a good port. There is a train station nearby, and based on information available, the labor force looked good, so he made a phone call. Another thing, back to the meeting, questions, some really great questions were asked, and of course there's no answers because these answers need to come from Chuck, who is not giving them to the board. But the question that I asked was about this train that he's talking about for obvious reasons. What train company is this that is supposed to be shipping a bunch of chemicals? Because, again, obvious reasons, we need to be aware the train stations, the train system in this country is going to shit because greed, you know, all the other things, but the fact that he's talking about using the train system to ship these chemicals, that worries me. And it should worry everybody around any train. Where are we at? We started talking about this a while back. It was just investigatory. Sorry. Thelen said, I know there are a lot of people that are disappointed that they weren't brought into the process sooner, but the process was so immature, it would have been confusing to bring people in before now. Yes, because we're all stupid. I apologize to those that feel like they were out in the dark for too long, but to have brought in that number of people early on in that stage, when it was purely investigatory, does not make sense, he added. As soon as it made sense, to whom? To you? To people that we didn't vote in? To this private group of people talking about what to do with the area of Big Rapids without consulting the people that actually live in the area of Big Rapids or around? As soon as it made sense, we brought the townships in and the county into it and started having those conversations, he said. This is him quoting him. We want to respect everybody's right to information and to be part of the process. No, you don't. If you did, then you wouldn't have given us just 5 months and tried to push it through. Now, I don't know exactly when this is supposed to be pushed through. The communication, again, is terrible for this project. So, I heard March 31st, but there's a lot of other things going on with, I guess, wetland delineation, so we'll get to that. Thelen also addressed some of the apprehensions surrounding the project, reiterating that the project is not yet a done deal and there are a lot of details to still be worked out. This is not a done deal, this is not a commitment yet, Thelen said. We are still working through due diligence. It is still a couple of months as we work through all of these things, but I'm very happy with the collaboration happening between the company and the local, state, and federal authorities. The collaboration? You really aren't collaborating with the people that you need to be. Which would be, you know, at least Big Rapids Township and Green Township. Now, the Green Township meeting is March 14th, so I will be at that one as well. I need to figure out exactly what's going on, but it seems like there's no resistance over in that township. But I will find out for sure when I go to the meeting. Wetland delineation. One of those details involves working with the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy to go through the process of wetland delineation, he said. There are issues with wetlands everywhere in Michigan, Thelen said. That can be somewhere where water collected for a while and a unique fern grew there, and any property like that, you have to do what is called wetland delineation. An expert will survey it for any indication that there was water there at one time. He said when EGLE did the delineation, he did not meet the expected results based on what the Department of Natural Resources had previously indicated. So through collaboration with EGLE, the company, and a consulting team, they developed a plan to avoid as much wetland as possible. Any wetland that has to be disturbed must be relocated somewhere else, and we are to the point where we believe we have a good plan, and EGLE has preliminarily said it is something they can get behind. Thelen said, "We still have to go through the permit process, which includes not just the state, but the Environmental Protection Agency. We have gotten great support from the director of EGLE and Governor Gretchen Whitmer, of course. It has been a very collaborative process and supported greatly by the townships and the county. All of that is still pending," he said. It has been a collaborative process and supported greatly by the townships and the county. I don't think so. That's not the feeling I was getting last night at the township meeting. Again, where was he? This is all very concerning to me. Again, I know I keep saying it, but I never expected it to be so close to home. This corruption that I am finding. I never thought. Another issue on concern brought forward by the Big Rapids Township Board of Trustees is water usage for the facility once it is up and running. Concerns include the potential impact of surrounding private wells. Yes, because it's about 38,000 gallons of water per hour, 22 hours a day, 6 days a week. So if you do the math on that, that's how much water this is supposed to be using. Again, that could change though at any time. Thelen said there are currently 2 12-inch wells on the Big Rapids Airport Industrial Park site that they will be using, and those 2 wells will provide more water than the faculty will need to run its process. We won't use even what the output is for those 2 wells. We could live off of one of the wells, he said. I understand people are concerned and scared because they are not the experts. But if you talk to the experts, they will tell you this is feasible. They, the township, already sunk those wells, and they already did the studies knowing that those 2 12-inch wells won't drain them dry. This is so condescending to me. I understand people are concerned and scared because they are not the experts. Trust authority blindly. Don't think for yourself. Don't do your own research. It's insulting. The people of Big Rapids are far smarter than this guy gives them credit for, and that's my opinion. And last night I saw it. Again, a lot of great voices out there that are concerned about the risk, and they're doing their part. We need more people, though. But that building was entirely too small. Side note, I know they're trying to work on making a bigger area for everybody, and again, I'll talk about that in the next video when I go over the supervisor notes. But yes, too small because we need more voices, and I'm going to try to get more people involved. We need to understand what's going on. Some big business and big government has snuck into our backyard, and they're trying to, control it all. They think that they know better, and when it's right for us dummies to know, then they'll let us know what's going on. But we don't get a say. That should tick you off. Sorry for my rant. Okay. He added that 15 years ago, when Ice Mountain came to the area, those same concerns were addressed, but experts have indicated that they won't even touch the water table. To residents' concerns regarding any potential contamination of the water supply, Thelen said that they will follow all state and federal guidelines, and the faculty will have a pre-treatment station of any wastewater to make sure the pH is above 6.5 and will not pollute anything. Yeah, okay, they will follow all state and federal guidelines. I'm sure that the railroad company, was it Norfolk Southern? I'm pretty sure they said they'd follow all state and federal guidelines too. Everybody does. Of course I'm going to follow state and federal guidelines. The problem is if an accident happens, what then? There will be no contaminants in the water, he said. Obviously, they are concerned about the lithium and cobalt, so any solids will be removed during the pre-treatment phase. The goal is that the pre-treatment will produce water that we can recycle and reuse in our cooling systems. Regarding possible contamination from the lithium and cobalt, Thelen reiterated all federal and state regulations will be followed, and they will hire a health and safety engineer that will monitor air and water quality and handling of all materials. Did you know that in Ohio right now, the government is saying that the water is okay to drink, and yet it's not? People are getting really sick, and you can smell chemicals in the water. You can see when you drop a stone in the creek that chemicals come up. It's crazy. And you know why? It's because Norfolk Southern is the one that is, like, what is the word? Regulating itself. It's checking itself. It's the one that's checking the water. It's crazy. The amount of corruption down there and cover up and everything that's going on. You sitting there and telling me that all federal and state regulations will be followed and they will hire a health and safety engineer doesn't make me feel any better. It doesn't make people that are paying attention feel any better. That is a big question, especially after what just happened in Ohio, Thelen said, referring to the derailment of a train carrying hazardous materials in East Palestine, Ohio. Being a big habitat supporter, I am all about keeping the habitat clean. Whatever measures are both mandated and known as best practices will be followed. We will collaborate with the EPA and the state to make sure all their requirements are maintained. That will likely include continuous safety checks, avoid, minimize, mitigate. Again, EPA heavily involved in the cover-up that's going on in Ohio. So you can't trust the EPA. There is something in the automotive industry called the process FMEA, failure mode and effects analysis, he continued. You go exhaustively through the process to identify risks, how often they could happen, and the severity of what could happen. Once you define and prioritize the list of risks, you attack them from top down. You methodically go through and optimize the process to get the risks out of the process. That will be followed. Share that with the public. I want to know exactly what your team, your think tank or whatever, what you guys think. What your risks are. Then once you define and prioritize the list of risks, you attack from the top down. Give me the list and what you consider the top down. I want to know. And I have a right to know. If you're going to put this plant in my backyard, basically, I have a right to know what your company considers the risks are and how you're going to tackle them before I agree, or the people around me in this area agree that your plant should come here. I think that these people thought we were just going to let this happen. We weren't going to investigate and use our own minds. And I think that that's why they chose this area, and that should insult you. That should tell you everything you need to know about all these people that are pushing really hard to put this through. They are the anointed ones, as Thomas Sowell would say. And I'm going to say globalist utopians often because that's what we're up against. We're up against globalist utopians. They think that they know what's good for us, and we just need to go with it. And I'm not going to. Sorry, but not sorry. Faculty risks. In addition to concerns about contamination, questions have also been raised about increased risk of fire or other disasters at the facility and how that would be managed by the community's emergency services personnel, especially when our fire fire stations all around this area are very small. One of them is even a volunteer only. That is terrible. That is not right. All the taxes that we pay, our roads are shit. Absolute shit, these roads in Michigan. It's the worst in the entire country. I've been to almost all the states. Our roads are the worst. It is embarrassing. It's not even the right word. Our money should be going to fire. Our money should not be going to public schools. Our money should be going to roads and fire for sure. And I don't think anybody could say that they shouldn't. Our roads should be good, and our fire station should be packed to the brim. We should be ready for a fire, but we're not. Thelen said, as a manufacturing facility that directly relates to energy, they will have the highest security so that the only people that can access the property are those that work there, and they will have processes in place to deal with potential risks. So right there, it sounds like he's saying that the risk of fire only would come from someone like starting a fire in the area somehow. But see, lithium batteries, now I know we're not doing the whole battery, we're only doing 3/4, but the ingredients are highly flammable, and so they just start on fire sometimes. And so we don't have enough information. I don't know if that will be possible with the cathodes, then anodes. Will they just start up? Who knows? But that's the majority of the risk, is the chemicals that are involved, and the fact that lithium battery fires just happen out of nowhere. And so the security isn't really the problem here, but obviously to him it is. He's obviously thinking that the risk of fire is going to be from someone starting a fire, from an outsider or something. That's what it sounds like right there. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know. For example, he said if there is a non-conforming product, it will be sequestered in its own building away from the workers so that they are not at risk. If it is incoming non-conforming, the supplier takes it back. If it is in our process and we confirm it is non-conforming and is a risk, it goes into a standalone containment or goes back to recycling. Our goal is 100% recycling everywhere possible. What does that mean? Where is it possible? Where isn't it possible? And again, your goal. So why wouldn't you be able to get 100% recycling done? Like, information. We need information. Thelen explained that they will not have finished batteries at the facility, but will be manufacturing 3 of the 4 major components of the electric vehicle battery, which will then be shipped out to other facilities where the batteries are produced. Okay, so they're not doing the whole battery, but you're still doing 150,000 tons of cathodes and 50,000 tons of anodes, so that's 2. I don't know what the third is, but I think it's like electrolyte or separator are the other 2. Don't quote me on that. I don't know what the third is, but sorry, let's see. 3 out of the 4 components. Oh yes, where are they going to be shipped? Where and how are the 3/4 of a battery going to be shipped? Don't you think that's important? And is it highly flammable in the 3/4 state? As far as the need for additional first responders, we will work with the townships, the city, and the county to define what that will be. It will be a collaborative effort to make sure everyone is at ease with how we do things. Well, so far, you're not doing a good job on making everybody at ease because you're not communicating. And you're talking to the Pioneer newspaper, the local newspaper, and you're not talking to the people involved. Big Rapids Township and Green Township. Now, he's talking to the supervisors, so maybe he just thinks the supervisors are supposed to tell the rest of the board and they're not. He might have that excuse, but types of jobs, wages. Many of the community have asked about what types of jobs and wages that can be expected from the facility once it is up and running. Thelen said it is difficult to predict exactly what they can expect as far as wages and salaries, but the goal is to be competitive with the surrounding area. Okay, I looked it up. Competitive with the surrounding area means $40,000 yearly. That's the average salary. So I heard numbers like 65,000 or 60,000 a year, but now he's saying that they're going to compete with the area, and the area is 40,000. So just to give you an idea of where we're looking. As far as overall pay, I think it is a little premature to talk about that right now, because if COVID taught us anything, it is that things are constantly changing. The best I can say is that they will be competitive with the wages in the area. Our goal will be to be above that. Okay, the 41,000. No. And the other thing is, I don't know, I'll get through this. He added the facility will not be a typical manufacturing plant, but a highly technical facility, which will require very specialized training for the workers. A large percentage of the workers will be general production. Another percentage will be administrative, such as line supervisors, managers, and directors. All levels will require specialized training. Additionally, we will need multilingual people to interface with the German team, the Chinese team, and the Japanese team. We have partnered with the state and with Fair State University for the training. It has in parentheses, but I'm not sure what that means in a quote, to be honest with you, because you could just say that they partnered with the state and with Fair State University, because they did, but for the training. He continued, I am on the curriculum committee to make sure the right curriculums are defined for the jobs. The goals of the training will be defined by Gotion, and the training content will be defined by Ferris and Michigan Works. It will include 6-month, 1-year, 2-year, and 4-year programs, so depending on the level of education needed for a position, you will get the proper training. Thelen added he will be the plant manager and will build the appropriate team, and said he plans to hire as much local talent as possible and will recruit locally first. Beyond that, they will look within a 45 to 60 mile radius of the Big Rapids area. Well, yeah, I feel very comforted knowing that Thelen is going to be the plant manager and he's going to build the appropriate team. He who is the VP of Gotion, who is a Chinese company. We want to be a great corporate citizen, he said. We have a great community here that we can be a part of, and we can't wait to continue to work on that, whether it is with Big Rapids Township, Green Charter Township, the county, or the city, or with Mr. Bill Pink at FSU. We will work together to make sure the right thing happens. We are hoping for generational workers to come. We will all work together to make sure the right thing happens. Who is we all? To those who question the long-term viability of the electric vehicle battery manufacturing industry, Thelen said the technology is constantly changing, and he hopes any facility the company opens will be able to continue for a long time in the future. You know, I read a lot, but I usually don't read out loud, and so I hope that I will get better faster at reading without messing up. Because I watch a lot of YouTubers, and most of them do mess up quite often, and I always find it funny, usually, but I want to try not to fuck up so much, so that's a goal of mine. Today's battery designs are different than 10 years ago, he said. All of that is constantly improved. Every 6 months, our assembly equipment is upgraded as better and more ecological and economical ways to produce things come along. It will be an evolution. We are constantly doing innovation. We put a lot of money back into research and development of the process, the design, and the manufacturing technique. Did any of that sound like anything to you but mumbo-jumbo bullshit? Let's see what keywords we have. Ecological, economical, evolution, innovation, research and development, design, and manufacturing technique. All of those, it's just a bunch of fucking mumbo-jumbo to me. But anyway, that nothing was said there if you really look. One thing that is constant is change. And this will change the area for the best, I hope. He added, what is good for the company and the community is what we all work together, What is good for the company and the community is that we all work together. I want you to notice which one comes first to him. It is telling. The company and then the community. Maybe I just looked too much into it. So, what do you think? Do you think that there were answers in this article? Do you think Chuck Thelen is on Team Big Rapids? Or do you think that he's on Team Gotion since he's the VP of Gotion? Once again, thank you to all the board members that are working for the people. Thank you for all of the individuals that are using their voice to ask questions and to be concerned for the local population. I hope more people will get involved. We need to get Newaygo County and Muskegon County involved, so I will be working on that. But I appreciate you guys for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, share with everybody you know, and I'll see you in the next video where I go through the supervisor notes from the Big Rapids Township Meeting minutes. Thanks again.